Hello, you're with Beatle. We are back on Survivor.io. Today we're going to be starting a new mini-series within the series of Survivor.io to determine what is the best weapon to use in the Ender's Echo. In this episode, we will be pitting the shotgun and the Gatling gun against the revolver and the Evo upgrade of that to find out which does the most damage there. In a previous video, I did compare the kunai with the light chaser, and the kunai came out on top. So I'm going to do it as like a knockout stages, i.e. the kunai has beat the light chaser. That makes it through to the next round. The winner of this one will make it through to the next round, and I'll compare all the weapons in knockouts, and obviously there'll be a champion further down the line. In this run, we have the shotgun. I used the shotgun in one of my previous videos, and I really like it, and I had the sort of hypothesis that it would be really good within the Ender's Echo. The shotgun itself, I suppose, I think would be average, but the upgrade, the Evo upgrade, the Gatling gun, once you get that, I think would be really powerful. It's obviously meant for bosses, and it does a lot of damage if you can get the hits onto the boss. And I wanted to compare it to the revolver, as I sort of thought that the revolver was relatively similar to what the shotgun is, in terms of quite just a slow, powerful weapon that sort of shoots bullets. I suppose that is the easiest description of it. I know that the Evo upgrades are vastly different, but I suppose they're probably the most two similar weapons, so I thought this would make for an interesting comparison. In terms of the weapons that I get during the run, the weapons and the upgrades, I just try and sort of get all the tech part weapons, and I'll do my best to try and do as much damage to the boss, both in general and obviously with the weapon that I am testing out. And then from there, I will, in the second run, I'll just try and get the exact same weapon. So I suppose it doesn't really matter too much which weapons I do choose, as long as I get the same ones or similar within the second run, just to try and keep things as fair as possible. But obviously I am trying to do as much damage to the boss as possible, so I do try and get the best weapons. I think there is the first time I've managed to have to get a weapon that wasn't Evo upgraded, as I just got a bit unfortunate with the skills that it provided. But it was the lightning bolt, which I actually think is quite a good weapon. It's just not Evo upgraded. And here we get the Gatling gun. So that was 2 minutes in. It's worth noting. I do think I get them at similar times, the Evo upgrades, but 2 minutes in, the Gatling gun I have got, and as you can see, once the bullets hit, it's a really powerful gun for the Ender's Echo. I think I could probably do with a bit of practice in terms of the sort of the best way to play with the Gatling gun to do the most damage to the boss in general. But I think I did pretty well. Obviously got to try and not die, so there's still a bit of evasion, and that's where the Gatling gun is sort of let down, as the bullets just look wherever you're facing. So when you are running away, you're not doing damage, which is what the kunai you can sort of hit when you're running away. So I think that will be an interesting comparison, but we'll go through the first stages in the knockouts first to get all of those complete, and then we'll move through the winners of all the first rounds until we have a winner. I also think it is worthwhile noting what other weapons do the most damage. Obviously, if you are trying to get the most damage in the Ender's Echo, not only do you need your primary weapon to be the best, but you need the sort of skills and upgrades that you get along the way to be the best as well. So I do take note of what weapons do the most damage here, and I think some are quite obvious. Obviously, the Destroyer is always going to be a good one for bosses, but this is something I'm going to make a note of, and I suppose the final video on this little mini-series will be the most damage in Ender's Echo. So I'll be using the weapon that wins the knockout stages, but I'll also be using all the skills and upgrades that are proved to do the most damage along the way, and hopefully I'll be able to get a really powerful score, all the sort of most damage dealt with in the Ender's Echo. And with just under 30 seconds to go on the shotgun run, my hypothesis coming into this run would be that the shotgun and the Gatling gun would do the most damage, and I suppose you'll have to stick around to the end if you do want to see what does the most damage. But I just had a feeling that the Gatling gun was so powerful, and then you can see, so we did just over 108 million with the Gatling gun doing 38 percent of that damage. But there we go, we're moving to the revolver. It's the managed to sort of reset everything. It's the same level, upgraded, all the same. Now we'll start this run and try and get obviously the same weapons and upgrades along the way. So we will try and get the destroyer. In the sort of the two main weapons that did the most damage in that run was obviously the shotgun, which had 38% of the total damage, but then you also had the destroyer, which was at 49%, which is obviously pretty much the vast majority of the damage was done by the destroyer, which was a surprise. I actually did think that the Gatling gun would be higher. But there you have it, and all the other weapons were pretty much, other than the shotgun and the destroyer, were pretty negligible. So they were the main two. So obviously in this run, I do make sure I try and get the destroyer as well as obviously upgrading the revolver as and when any upgrade for that is possible. And it was around the 2-minute mark that we had the Gatling gun upgrade. So just bear that in mind to sort of see when we get this upgrade, just to obviously to try and keep it as fair as possible. I think the only upgrade skill that is different is in this one is that I end up, I think, getting the drill over the lightning, which I actually, even though the drill has the tech part upgrade, the lightning sort of strikes single enemies, so I think that may actually be slightly better for the Ender's Echo than the Whistling Arrow, but I think both towards the end do very minimal damage, so the contribution there is negligible again, so I don't think that actually contributes much towards the sort of final damage scores. So I'd be interested to hear what you think would be the best weapon here, but also what you think the best weapon in the Ender's Echo is in general. And obviously I will definitely be including that in the comparison, and we'll see how we go. And I'd also be interested to see what you think the best total sort of loadout is for the Ender's Echo. What sort of upgrades and skills you think would be best to try and get the highest amount of damage. And as we approach the 2 minutes gone mark, I think it's just worth highlighting that we did get the High Noon, the upgrade of the revolver, the Evo upgrade of the revolver. Got that at the 1 minute 30 mark. So we got that around 30 seconds quicker than what we got the Gatling gun, which isn't too long. I don't think that will play a major role in the sort of damage dealt, but I guess it is just something worth noting, and obviously that's just a luck factor, which is hard to sort of counter. But yeah, when doing the upgrades here, same as what I did with the Gatling gun, I try and get the skills that would help the primary weapon, so the revolver or the shotgun. So the attack, the attack damage up, the cooldown speed, and that sort of thing. So sometimes I will get the tech part upgrade for weapons. You know, if I'm trying to get the destroyer still, I'll get those. But in general, I'm just still trying to increase my damage output from the primary weapon. And here we go, we're approaching around 1 minute 30 left to go, but we're also nearly approaching 100 million really, and remember that the previous score was just over 108 million, so in this run I started to sort of think that the shotgun is going to do more damage, and I wasn't too sure if it was because of the shotgun or because of the sort of other weapons and skills that I got in the run, but it looks like we are going past the damage in the shotgun run, so the revolver does end up doing the most damage. And it's interesting, I won't spoil it, but when you see the sort of total damages across the end, the stats is interesting, but I'll wait for the sort of last 30 seconds to go by, and I have sped the sort of gameplay up slightly just so you're not having to watch it all the way through at normal speed. But yeah, it is interesting how it's pretty much the revolver and the destroyer again that pretty much do all the damage, and you can see that the others, even the Whistling Arrow, which is why I said earlier I didn't think that the Whistling Arrow is actually that effective in the Ender's Echo. Obviously in a normal chapter I would always recommend getting that, but there we go, victory, 144.3 million, which is considerably more, and the Reaper still did 36% with the destroyer at 44%. And I think that the only reason that maybe the destroyer is slightly lower is because we had the Whistling Arrow in this run, which was 9%, so slightly higher. But here you can see the stats. So you've got the shotgun, which had a total damage of 108 million in that run, where the shotgun did 38% of that damage, totaling 41 million. The revolver, that run had 144.3 million, and the revolver did 36% of that damage, so a total damage from the revolver at 52 million. So it it was close, but the Revolver did win relatively convincingly, but it's still, as I say, quite close. But that is around a 20-25% increase in damage from the Revolver, so we have to give this one to the Revolver. And in the next video we'll likely be comparing the Katana with the baseball bat, and then the winner of that will face one of the winners of the previous run. But if you like the video, do like and subscribe. That is much appreciated, especially for a smaller channel like mine, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Thank you.